everyone, welcome back to an episode of the React Foundation series. In this episode right here, we're going to be continuing our journey in React. And in the previous episode, I mentioned that we're going to jump back to Rails to fix an endpoint. And then I realized that nothing was wrong with the endpoint. Actually, we need to fix the front end. So let me talk a little bit about what needs to happen. So now we've gotten this far, like we're able to, come log in, come to the dashboard. We can see the accounts. If I click view, we go to the contacts page. But here's the thing. If I take a look at the routes real quick in the server side, we'll see that, we actually need to create the organization before we can actually create the contact. So what that means is in the front end, we need to create like an organization management page where we can create the organization. And the organization is, if you will, the ability for us to group contacts. So, for example, if I'm working with another company, I can create that company's entity in my system, and then I can create the contacts under that particular entity. In this case, the entity is called organization. So, without any further ado, let's hop it into our front end over here and create what's going to essentially be the organization management. So for the organization, we're just going to nest it under the accounts, just like the contacts. So I'm going to go here and do route, path, and organizations, route, close that out like that. And the index route is going to be the organization. So I'm going to go a little bit quick because this is all the same stuff we've talked about before. Let's see why this, all right, the error is gone. So now what we need to do is we then need to create the component called organizations collection. So what I'm going to do is in pages, I'm going to create a new folder here, call it organizations. And I'm going to stick with the naming convention here. So organization, I'm going to create a new component here called collection. So collection.js. So in here we have collection.js, and organization we have collection.js. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an import React. So import React from React class collection extends react.peer component. Export default collection, just like that. All right, so that's pretty good. Now we need to just do the render. Return div. So it's just going to return an empty div for us. So that should be okay for now. And we need to do an index that we allow us to export the collection. So I'm going to go into organization, do an index. So index.js, import collection from collection, export default collection. And that should be pretty much good. So that's pretty much all we need, just, the basic shell. And then basically we can come and implement all this later, and we're going to implement the form that doesn't allow us to create our organization. Then we'll need to, also think about how we're going to actually create the contact. So, how do we go about selecting the organization and all that stuff? So right now, let's just get this to render. So I'm going to head over into index over here. Everything looks good, just checking through everything. So now in the routes, we should have C from pages. So in the pages, we have index. So now we just need to import organizations from organizations. And here we're going to add All right, so that's pretty much it. So now if I head over into my app and I go to organization, we should be able to go to the organization page. So let's confirm that everything is working. So I'm going to go here and do a blah. So there you go. You see the blah. So we're actually on the organization page. So what we need to do next is kind of like work use the template. So, have that action bar show up. So let's see in the collection here, we can do an import component pages. So I'm going to import that component there with the spinners. We probably need to use a spinner as well. So import both into here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the basic page. So page.actionable title organizations. All right. So we haven't used a spinner yet, but now the actionable stuff shows up very, very quickly. So now all we need to do is implement ability for us to create the organization. So I'm going to go a little bit quicker. So I'm going to pause this video here. We got everything set up. We got the organization page set up. We also need to add the link to allow us to kind of like access these pages. So like, for example, if I want to jump to managing the contacts, I can go there, and I want to jump over to managing the organizations, I can jump back over there. So to do that, we'll need to add the nav bar up here next to the invoiced, and I'll make it a little bit more slick than just using text. So we'll start to use icons, and I'll show you guys how to do that in the next episode. So with that, I want to wrap this up. This is a free episode. So also check out our back catalog on our site. We have a lot of updates coming soon. I also want to apologize for not haven't been uploading recently because I ran into a lot of issues with my computer. I upgraded to High Sierra and a lot of stuff broke, and I had to, figure out how to fix it and get everything back up again. And finally now everything is resolved. We're back up and running. So without any further ado, I'm going to wrap this up. Like, share, and subscribe. Become a member on our site for just $9 a month. So check that out. And with that, I want to wrap it up and see you guys in the next one.